Do a tag video. Um, it's the Bookish Tag, and so yeah. The first question is, what type of books do you prefer? Or I don't know how to say that word, but I really like classics, but I also like really contemporary feel of the book. Uh, I love books that deal with real issues in a unique way, and so you but that being said, I'm also really open to any new type of books. Like, I'm not just going to restrict myself to one type of book, but I really do enjoy classics and contemporary. Question number 2. What are some of the must-have books in your library? Well, I really like The Help, Fault in Our Stars, of course, any John Green book, really. Um, The Help, Sarah's Key is a really good book. I like those books a lot. a lot. What is the most expensive book in your bookshelf? The first book that comes to mind is this like really nice leather edition of Charles Dickens. It has Great Expectations, A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, and another one I can't remember. But there's 4, and it's just like really awesome. It's green, and it's Charles Dickens, and it cost quite a bit of money. So I would say that is my most expensive. What do you covet? What books do you covet the most? I don't say that I covet any books. Like, I would like to get some books, but it doesn't mean like I'm bent on getting them. You know what I mean? So I don't think that question really applies to me. How much do you spend on books? Well, at the moment, absolutely none. But, like, for me, I go to a lot of used bookstores, so I really don't spend that much, because you can find books that are like $1.50, 25 cents. Yeah, I don't really have a consistent budget. So, what do you think about the current trend in YA books? Well, obviously vampires have been a trend for a while, but they still are. I don't really care for vampire books unless they're really well done. I don't really like the Twilight. Yeah, I'm not really big into vampires. Yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of to answer to that question. What series do you wish you had more books? Well, this is a funny story because I have a lot of the, like 2 series, I only have the second book, and I don't even have the first book. One of those series being the Inheritance series, Aragon, and I don't have Aragon, but I do have the second one, Eldest. And then the Gone series by Michael Grant, I have Hunger, but I don't have Gone. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. What are your go-to books in your library? I don't really understand what this question is, but I'm going to take it as like, what are your favorite books in your library? So if I kind of misinterpreted that, I'm sorry, but that's how I'm going to take it. Sarah's Key, The Help, Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska. Trying to think what books. The Perfect Chemistry series. There's so many great books. What book is currently in your bag? Well, I'm currently right now reading Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, and it's interesting. I like it. So, yeah. What are some nonfiction books on your shelf? Well, I don't really have a lot of nonfiction. The only nonfiction I can really think of are, I have a couple biographies, or autobiographies. Well, one's a biography and another one's an autobiography. And then I have like this book, it's not really self-help, but it really, it challenges young Christian teenagers to step out of the box and do stuff for God. It's called Do Hard Things by Alex and Brett Harris. But other than that, most of my books are fiction. And who are your favorite authors? Well, John Green, obviously. Wow, this is hard. John Green. I'm just trying to think of the books I've read, because I've read so many books. I guess I would say, well, because John Green, the thing about him is he hasn't I haven't read a book of his that I didn't like. Um, Tatiana de Rosany, I guess, even though she kind of wrote a book that was disappointing, but she did write Key, which is my favorite book of all time. And I can't come up with the third one. I know that's really bad. Um, what is your favorite bookstore? Well, I only have one, but like major chain in my area, which is Barnes and Nobles. But there's a little independent bookstore in downtown, a place, a city next door. They have a little independent bookstore, and it's such a really cozy atmosphere. And I love going into those type of bookstores because they just make you feel cozy and just like, even though they have probably all the books, like Barnes and Noble has, it's just a lot more intimate of a setting. So yeah, I like going to where and plus it supports local business. So yeah, I'll put the questions in the doobly doo and DFTBA.